morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are. Or should I start saying good day or good or great rising to everyone that's listening to me? Let's talk with Kay. Of course, this is me, Kay, of course. And as you probably can tell, I just came back from a run. Still cold. If anybody knows me, I hate wasting stuff. I'm sorry, I do. Especially when you pay for a 24-ounce smoothie that's like close to darn near $8 or a little bit over $8 after tax. But yeah, today is Sunday, November the 24th, I believe. Oops, I forgot to end that walk. Yeah, 24th. I'm sorry, my days are kind of running together, it seems. I guess before I talk about what I really feel like talking about, I ran a 5K, and that's pretty much the norm right now whenever I do a run, making sure that my phone don't fall. And I did pretty well. I think it was 38 minutes and some seconds. So there was an improvement from my last fastest run on this trail. And as you can see, I'm proud of myself that actually sticking to a workout routine or whatever, doing something, because it seems like around this time of year, I would say starting September, probably all the way through March maybe, when it started getting warm and people started thinking about, I guess, hot girl summer, getting their bodies right or whatever for the summer. That's when I guess between that time frame that I mentioned, that I tend to just kind of stay home, feel like, I guess, hibernating, and really don't do anything too much as far as a workout. I may get out maybe one time that September through the next year in March, just basically just, celebrating the holidays and all that type of stuff. But today I ran. A few days ago, I think it was Thursday, I actually went to the gym, did a run on the treadmill, which I totally hate. I probably run for a few minutes, and once boredom really kind of overtakes me, I just get off the treadmill and then, do something else. And so after I ran the treadmill, I basically did like a 10-minute lower body workout. So I'm really working on that. And also, I've been watching what I'm eating, and I'm on this Noom. I guess it's not a diet. It's just basically an app called Noom, N-as-in-Nancy-O-O-M, that basically teaches you the psychology of why people eat the way they eat, what type of eater are you. It takes into account your lifestyle, your weight, your height, just to come up with how many calories that you should be eating in order to lose weight, and so on and so forth. So I did it a few years ago, I think right after the pandemic started or before, and I lost a lot of weight. I think I mentioned before in one of my videos that when I started I was 196 and counting, and then I lost all the way down. I went all the way down to 150 pounds. So I lost that weight and kind of maintained it until, I guess, I went through I'll call it my tower moment in my life, and I pretty much went into a depression and kind of gained that weight again. So now I'm in a lot happier, a very great mindset, And, you know, now I'm like, okay, I guess my average weight kind of was like 165, something like that. So I've been losing a few pounds. I think let me see. I see it just goes, I think I'm hitting my plateau, because the last 15, like, it's like those last few pounds you need to lose is like the hardest. I was down to 162 something, and then it went up to like 163. Like today I weigh myself and I'm 163.4. I'm like, dang, come on, come back down. And I thought I was gonna lose a lot of weight. I thought I was gonna be in 161s today, but I guess I was below that weight loss range that's on Noom's, because I didn't eat a lot yesterday. I slept. It seemed like I hardly sleep very well because I'm a night owl. I tend to want to stay up late, knowing that I need to get up early. So, and you know, not just because I need to take my daughter to school, just I have a lot to do because I have a small business. So when I get that really good sleep, it's like, dude, I don't want to wake up. I want to get some more sleep and sleep in. So I slept in yesterday, and, you know, and I would say I got a lot of work done, but I didn't really eat a whole lot or whatever, you know. So that's probably why my body probably responded to that and said, oh, she didn't eat a whole lot. She ate less than what she should have eaten. So basically it was a unhealthy amount. Just like you can eat too many calories in a day, you can eat too little calories, and your body pretty much goes into survival mode and like, okay, we need to hold on to these pounds. So I think that's what happened. So I'm trying to be mindful of what I'm eating now, at least get into that weight loss range. So I won't be eating too little, but at the same time, I won't be eating too much. But anyways, that's enough as far as my health and so on and so forth. And I feel like sometimes I want to take I feel like most of my videos are after I work out. It seems like that's the only time I have now to record. But I want to record a special video later on and have it out probably day before Thanksgiving, because I want to have it ready for I think it's called Small Business Saturday. I really do want to talk about that because I feel like it's really, especially in these days and times, you know. But anyways, as I said earlier, today is Sunday, and also the holidays are coming up. And I will just let anybody who don't know me very well, I'm a spiritualist. I don't assign to any religion. I do believe in a higher power. I do believe in a creator. But I don't believe in the so-called God called Jesus. I know some people probably be offended by that. I'm sorry. I believe in Yeshua. That person existed. And the character Jesus is based off of Yeshua. You know, but the character, you know, it's basically the character. And so I kind of had a dilemma because I won't say growing up, I would say the irony is, as a kid, I loved Christmas. Christmas was my favorite holiday during that time. And it stopped being much of a favorite when I started going to church. And I would have to say, I really didn't know it was a name for this, but I guess it's called, what is it called? Church trauma. And honestly, I had, and I guess I have church trauma, because I would have to say that before going to church, I guess from birth all the way to like 10 or 11, or maybe a little bit older than that, my life was enjoyable. You know, even though things weren't perfect or whatever, I still, you know, enjoy my childhood. But when I started going to church as a kid, it seemed like life was worse. It wasn't really fun at all to me. Not because, I gotta go to church. And then it was just, the whole lifestyle. And I felt like my mom seemed like she became meaner. My dad seemed to be more depressed. And I would have to admit, some people probably get offended. I love my parents, but it is what it is. I feel like my dad was, in a sense, a weak man and my mom, I can't say she was a narcissist or not. I do believe she's a narcissist. She was a covert narcissist. And it seemed like that's what really bothered me as a child, because it seemed like the doctrine of Jesus and how you should live didn't mesh with how I was growing up. It was total opposite. I would say, besides going to church on Sundays and then going to church on Wednesdays, it seemed like church became this. It's like everything in life as a kid revolved around church. And then we had so many revivals, and it's like, and as a kid, as a kid, that seemed like my extracurricular activities, the very few that I had, wasn't really supported. Like, when I joined orchestra, at first my mom was very, very doubtful that I could even play an instrument. Didn't really have no support. And then, I guess once everybody else started recognizing that, she's really talented and she knows how to play an instrument, that's when I kind of got the attention, but it really wasn't the great attention. It was like, hey, how should I put it? It didn't matter. Her actions towards me was the same whether I was playing the instrument or not. It wasn't really supported. And then in high school, when I joined the flag team, I wasn't supported in that as well. It was like when I had my first performance, I forgot, it's called flag team, but there's another name for it. She didn't even go to my game and support me. She didn't go to any of them, to be honest. I also participated in in a parade. She didn't. It's like it was such an indifference in what I was doing that it didn't matter. And then when I finally told her, which in my heart I knew she wasn't going to be supportive, but she wasn't going to be on my side or do anything. But hey, she's my parent. I told her I was bullied. I'm like, man, I was being bullied, and instead of being upset about me being bullied, it was more about, well, I told you, you shouldn't try it out and join the flag team. It's basically saying there was something wrong with me, that because there was something wrong with me, it wasn't surprising that I was bullied, which to me was really hurtful, so it's like my mom, like I said, it's like she became this church lady. And from what I've learned, being a narcissist, it seemed like they are chameleons. They're like, I'm gonna act one way, like for example, like my dad. From what I can gather in my adult mind right now, looking back in my childhood, my dad, he had a family. It seemed like they got together on certain occasions. They had, they drink, they, had little house parties, whatever, seemed enjoyable. And sometimes, we'll visit them out of town, or they'll come out of town to our home. And she seemed like she was this fun-loving person. And then when she joined church, it's like she became this really, really pious person. But at the same time, it was all an act, because at church, that's why I never understood. You have the Holy Ghost at church, and then be like chaos and confusion agent at home. And so yeah, it seemed like I had church trauma. I never was comfortable in church. It seemed like it was a heaviness, I put it that way, when I was going to church. Like, it was a heaviness. You can tell when a pastor was talking about somebody, because it's like, okay, now all of a sudden you're talking about this odd subject. So somebody must have told you something, but you didn't respect their privacy. You rather just put it out there in church. So for everybody else to hear, it was like preacher gossip. This is how I'm a gossip, but I can't because I'm a preacher, but I will because it's gossip. So I really didn't like that at all. It was like, and something came to me, and I'm not sure if I'm totally correct on this timeline, but I remember my pastor, it was during like a Wednesday type of teaching, and to me it was odd because I was in high school, and it was really odd because I was like, why is he talking about this? And I remember it just kind of came to me like, do you believe if a person can sing real good, are they anointed? How do you know if a person is anointed when they are, when they're singing? It was like, what they got doing anything, And mind you, I'm in high school, so I wasn't really great at putting 1 and 2 together and all this other type of stuff. And I'm not sure if he was preaching to me, but it came to me, so I'm assuming that he probably was inspired by moi. So, and I was like, remembering the time when we had like a guest musician come, because I think they was going to use our church to have like some type of program, some musical program or something. And I guess we was trying to look for a lead singer. So, so he was at the computer, we was at choir practice, and he had one person sing, and then he had one person sing this, it's like a certain particular part of a song. And then I went up and started singing, and it seemed like everybody was just like, wow, you can really sing, you can sing good, all this type of stuff. And of course I got compliments from everybody else except my mom, pretty much my family members, like my younger sister, I guess she didn't have the attention that she thought she deserved. So after, after our practice, she was like, maybe he must have heard me in the back singing behind you. I'm like, girl, bitch, I ain't even hear you in the back, so what are you talking about? So I mean, it's like narcissism runs heavy in my family. So she didn't want to give me the attention. My mom, she just act like I didn't sing at all, I guess. So like I said, didn't get that support. So I believe after that happened, I heard when this sermon had this teaching. So it was just really, really, I don't know, it's just really shady. It's like it went from I guess to me, I would say church was a dark period in my life. I just got to the point where I hated church. And even when I, became 18 years old and grown, and I believed in God and all that, I still felt like I had church PTSD or something. I just didn't want to go to a church. And I definitely didn't want to set foot into my childhood church, because it seemed like it was just so much dark. It was like so much darkness and things. And then it seemed like when you go to church, you're always hearing about hell and brimstone. I'm like, okay, it's a grown person. I'm like, I kind of feel like I'm kind of going through hell most days, called a 9 to 5 when I'm going to work. So why would I want to spend part of my weekend going to church, hearing about going to, because you're not perfect, basically, even though you accepted Jesus Christ, but because you're not perfect, it's a really high chance you're going to be going to hell. Why do I want to hear that? I'm like, damn, I'm sitting here going to church, hearing this, and then on Monday, you all deflated. You're not really inflated. You deflated. Like, okay, now it's time to start my 9 to 5. Yes. Let's get this minimum wage. But anyways, it's just was a dark period in my time. And it got to the point where I just pretty much, dip and dab, try to go to church, but overall, when I really think about it, I really wasn't a churchgoer. I basically was a person that believed in Jesus, and that's it, until I really learned the full truth that there wasn't no such thing as it was a character. I put it this way: what they say in movies, that this movie is based on real life events, but at the same time, or they infer that it's not 100% truth. That's kind of how I see the Bible as far as the Jesus story. It's based on true events, or inspired. I'll put it was inspired by true events, but it's not really true. It's like fictional, and that. So, but I would say that, one, before going to church, I really enjoyed Christmas. We got together with, my family and things. And that's one thing I really appreciate. Even though my mom was far from perfect, I would have to say now I appreciate that when my mom was alive, my family was getting together. That's what I really appreciate, because now my mom has been gone since 2016, almost 10 years. And I think since then, my family all together, the siblings really haven't gotten together at all. So I feel like when my mom left this planet, transition, it's like that didn't exist anymore, So I could say I can appreciate that. But now, knowing the full truth, it's like I have a dilemma. Do I want to celebrate or not? And that's been a dilemma for the past few months, because there are some stories about the true meaning of Christmas and Thanksgiving and all this type of stuff. And then when I look at it for the past few years, honestly, I celebrated Jesus, but at the same time, I really didn't go to church or whatever. I enjoyed that. And also when Thanksgiving came, I didn't look at it as the Pilgrims or whoever, the Puritans. I just looked at it as a day to be thankful. That's the tradition. Be thankful. I'm thankful for, my business. I'm thankful for my job at the time. I'm thankful for my kids being alive and well. I'm thankful for my health. I'm thankful for my home. Because at the end of the day, that's, you emerge, in a sense, you're immersed in it. If you're working for a job, you definitely immersed in it, because people going to be thinking about potlucks and decorating the office and all this type of stuff, in the same way for Christmas. So it's like no escaping. And then it's been such a tradition, well, at least for me, since childhood, that, I want to go ahead and, celebrate. But instead, I was like trying to, dude, it's just been racking my brain. And then I'm thankful I listened to Billy Carson yesterday on Saturday, and basically he said he just called it the holidays. I was like, perfect. I'm like, that's perfect, because at the end of the day, when you really think about it, I thought it was a bee or a fly in here. When you really think about it, it's the holidays, really, because you got all the Abrahamic religions, Judaism, Islam, Christianity, all of them are celebrated around this time of year, and Christmas, the celebration of Jesus component, it's been so commercialized that it seemed like Jesus, the character is like, the character is way in the back, like, hello, this is supposed to be my party, let me in the house, which is kind of sad, but at the same time, it's true, because other religions celebrate Christmas, but instead we call it the holidays, and that's kind of what I call it. I'm gonna call it the holidays, but I would say one thing: I do believe in the person Yeshua, and I guess inadvertently, Christianity made Yeshua famous. You know, I'm not even sure if Yeshua would have been as famous as he is if Christianity or any other religion didn't exist, especially Christianity. If Christianity didn't exist, it's like, how famous would Yeshua be? So I normally will wear like a cross. I bought a cross like last month or whatever, you know, for my necklace. And I can't say that I worship the Jesus. And honestly, I really didn't worship. When I really think back, I didn't worship him, to be honest. I would say, at least in my adulthood or whatever, like, especially when I really came to the conclusion myself that Jesus, because I would say what inspired this, what I'm about to say, is the fact that I would say maybe during the Obama, when he was running for presidency, or I think it's more when Trump was running for the presidency for the first time. I think that's when I really realized that, hey, you got these really religious people. They call themselves Christians, whether they were on the right or the left. I'm like, I'm really not seeing the love that they say that Jesus had, you know, in the Bible. And I'm like, and I just came to this realization. I'm like, Jesus said love everybody. And then of course I think about what he done, you know, in the Bible, which I'm not sure if all of that was true, you know, but based on Yeshua, I could believe it's true, you know, because at the end of the day, the Pharisees, which most of the Christians of the day act like, you know, they didn't like that he was hanging out with regular people, you know, or the quote unquote the lower the low, the prostitutes, the, you know, the poor, the crippled, the disabled, you know, that most of us, you know, you can say everybody pretty much has some disability, you know, whether you depressed or anxiety or blindness or something, you know, that, you know, it's like, hey, he taught us love, and these people are doing the opposite. So I just like, and it seemed like after that, my life totally started changing. It's like, I guess, accidentally, I will say that my frequency, my vibrations became higher, and that's when I started seeing more blessings come to my life and things of that nature. And I started attracting more love, and it seemed like things in my life started to change, but for the good, not for the worse. So, and then I look back in my, you know, well, I guess I'm going way far ahead of myself. So with all that being said, that's when I started doing that and started showing love and this, that, and the other. And I started really following that path, you know, and honestly, when like I said, some people probably see me wearing a cross, you know, and probably be confused, like, oh, I thought you weren't a Christian. I'm not a Christian, but I believe that, I'm sorry, I don't know, I believe Yeshua is still my spiritual guide. I really do believe that, because I felt like when I called on him, but using the wrong name, I felt like he came through, you know, and helped me guide, not just come through like financially. It's like something pop up in my head, an ideal or whatever, that kind of helped me get through some type of storm or whatever. The storm. Okay, I'm gonna get back to the church, but some type of, you know, some type of bumps. That's life. So I believe that. And then when I think about it now, when I go back to my church, it's like, we didn't do anything for nobody, to be honest. All we did was just go to church, and, you know, it seemed like almost 24/7. I had to wear dresses every day. I had to kind of push within who I really was and kind of act phony. I really couldn't be myself. It's like myself wasn't good enough according to religion. You know, my mom, my dad, my siblings, you know, and I didn't like that. And that's one reason why I really couldn't become a real true Christian, because I'm like, I don't want to be a fake person. You know, every time somebody meet me, hi, how you doing? I'm blessed and highly favored. How are you? Life is good. Like, girl, are you living on earth, or are you an alien? Like, you can't really relate to a person like that. If you're having issues, it's like they can't talk, they can't relate to you, it's like, well, God will bless you, and if something bad happened, it's like, well, you must not be close enough to God. It was so depressing to me. And I'm like, do Christianity supposed to lift you up? And then it's like, if life is bad, well, yes, of course, because you're a Christian, you gotta wait till you die to get to heaven to get all the riches, the golds, and the silver. And to me, it's like, then when I really, really think now, I guess when I had some downloads, I'm like, it seemed like your God is really narcissistic. And I mentioned Christianity because I was a Christian, but that can apply to other religions as well. Because I'm like, the creator of the earth, creator of the universe, the creator of the multiverse, why do that creator need to be worshipped? You know what I'm saying? It sounds like a narcissist that needs that attention, it needs to be fed that energy. I'm like, heck, for it. And then they say, that's your father. First of all, why I gotta be a man? Because I'm like, I get more nurturing and stuff from a mother figure than a father, but that's a whole nother story. If you've been lucky to a father in your life, which to me is like, dude, how this father made all these planets and stuff, but yeah, and then made people in his image, and then you see the people that's actually really in his image that's running off and running away from their kids, and it's like, and then it's like, it's just so many contradictions. Like, you're gonna create kids. First of all, you know everything. You know the past, future, the present, but you made kids anyway to send them to hell. I'm like, make it make sense. And it's just, and then when I was a kid, I was sitting through all this, the stories of Joseph, like the father having favor with one of the kids. And then to me, I looked at Joseph as this braggadocious little golden child. Like, look at me, I got this coat of all these colors. He likes me more than you do, than he loves you. What you get from father? Oh, nothing. Oops, I'm sorry. And then I was like, shoot, I ain't gonna lie, when I was in church, I was rooting for the brothers. I'm like, well, hell, shoot, I'll throw them in a pit anyway. He got on my nerves, you know. And then it seemed like in church, it made it seem as though this story was like, it's like rooting for the golden child and the narcissist in the story. And yeah, even though what the brothers did was wrong, but I'm like, looking at this kid like, this kid is braggadocious. And then and the pastor kept preaching all these stories about how everybody had a favor. It's like the favorite child, the favorite this, the favorite. I'm like, dude, is that supposed? I'm like, dude, is it supposed to be like that for real? Having a favorite, and then you're so perfect, you created all these people for you to end up throwing most of them in hell. It's like, dude, this kid bad. Let me start over now. Try to get up. I'm gonna tie you aside. I'm like, make it make sense. I'm like, it did not make sense at all to me. I'm like, and then it's like, I was like, dude, I don't know. And then next thing you know, I'm sorry though. That's another thing that always bothered me when it came to gospel songs. I didn't like gospel. I'm gonna put it that way. I didn't. Whether it was contemporary gospel or like traditional gospel. It was like depressing to me. It was like so depressing. And it wasn't always the quote unquote the traditional, like the obvious depressing songs like I'm coming up on the rough side of the mountain, or what's some other songs? That's one of the songs I can remember. I mean, it was just the energy about the songs to me, or gospel songs, that was just depressing. It was like you hear a song and you just be like, if you can see my eyes, it was just like, I mean, it was only a few songs that I really liked, you know, like I'm gonna say this: silver and gold, silver and gold, silver and gold. I'd rather have Jesus. My voice kind of scratchy. That was not even very happy to me. It was like I could probably name a handful of songs that actually was like, I can get with this. But I'm gonna say one thing though: when I'm arguing with some of them songs that I really liked in church, boy, I was like, yeah, you know, like yeah. Like, come on, get that drum, like, boy. And they had the instrumental moment, like people start singing, like, boy, I'm saying that's one of the parts of the church that I really miss though. But overall, I really didn't listen. I didn't just turn on gospel music or a gospel station and just be like, yes, I'm feeling it. I'm gonna put it this way: when I was in the Army and actually like getting ready for work, I'm sorry, I would put it on. And this was like during between 2006 through 2012, but especially when I was single after my divorce, I would put it on Soulja Boy. Like, woke up out of bed, put my swag on, take a look in the mirror, say what's up, yeah, get money. That's what I was listening to. I was like, hey, get me up. And like Pretty Boy swag or Pretty Girl swag and Carrie Hilson and all them. That's what I was listening to at that time when I got up in the morning. I ain't listening to gospel. I'm sorry. Some people be like, I listen to gospel to get ready for work. And then when you really think about it, it's like you already basically thinking about work is a bad thing when you have to listen to gospel just to get you. I was like, get money, yeah. Woke up out of bed, get my swag on, take a look in the mirror, say what's up, yeah, get money. That's what I was. I hope I don't get copyrighted for singing it. But but anyways, that's what I was listening to. I was like, hey, sometimes I had to, because some days when I was at work with a new team, a new supervisor, whatever, I'd be like, boy, I want to say what I want to say to you. Ooh. But that's another story. But I guess to conclude this, yes, even though Christmas was a great time of year for me, I had dark periods where Christmas wasn't that great. But, you know, it has some great traditions and stuff, as well as Thanksgiving, you know, and we really didn't celebrate Halloween, even when I was, it felt like the card. Even when, we weren't going to church as a kid, we really didn't celebrate Halloween. But yeah, I'm like, at the end of the day, I'm like, I'm just gonna call the holidays for me. It's the holidays, just being thankful, being alive. If I work all the time, I create my own schedule since I'm a small business person. But if you're working at a job, you know, you immersed in it, so you know you can either go home and just don't put a Christmas tree up. That's fine. I don't care. And then I have a kid too. I have a teenager that's like, dude, I don't want to just spend, you know, 15 years of my life celebrating Christmas or the holidays and then just stop, you know. So, and when I talked about it with her too, and she understood, she was ready. Like, I understand, Mama, but at the same time, I knew she kind of felt like, I really don't want to really do this, but I understand what my mom is saying. So I you know, but I told her that compensate for that, just do good, do well in school and stuff, and you know, you will get things during the year. It don't have to be like you get nothing for a whole year almost, and then we got to look at that and say, okay, let's kind of calculate. People don't do that anyway. They still get a badass kids gifts, you know, during Christmas anyway. So, but I just look at it as, hey, you know, hey, you made really good grades. I give you something, you know, you did something really well. And I think it's supposed to be like that all the time. And I said this year, I plan on giving I'm gonna be a human this year and give my family members, my siblings, Christmas cards. I used to give them Christmas cards all the time, but even though I really didn't get nothing, I never got nothing from my siblings. Never. And even when I did give, like I gave cards, didn't get none. One year I gave my siblings something, and you got one of the siblings for like, you know, hey, what's this? It wasn't, so I'm like, well, I ain't giving you shit then. And then, you know, it's just, like I said, my family is toxic. I mean, the obvious evidence of that is nobody really talking to each other and giving each other, like nobody really doing anything for, you know, for hanging out together. Nobody's really hanging out together for the holidays. And they all live together. I live separately from them because the military, moving around, and I finally moved here for my job, which I don't work there no more, but nobody really do anything. So, except, and that's a long story with that too. You know, my mom basically talked about all of us, and I won't doubt it that she probably talked about me shitty towards the end of her life, because all my sisters started acting funny towards me, and I'm like, I don't know what I did or what I said. You know, nobody can't think for themselves no more, I guess. So I'm like, hey, so everybody separated, divided. You know, like, hey, we're a divided family. Yeah, that's great. But yeah, anyways, I'm gonna celebrate the holidays. I'm gonna celebrate, be happy that I got Yeshua as a spiritual guide in my life, and celebrate Thanksgiving because I'm really thankful. I flip it around on people. I flip it around, you know, that I'm thankful for this, I'm thankful for that. You know, it's like reverse psychology. And I'm not gonna spend a whole bunch of money. I haven't even started like decorating or buying Christmas gifts yet, or holiday gifts. I mean, it's a habit. I mean, don't hurt me for it. I hope you guys having a good day whenever you know, whatever day, night that you're seeing this. I hope you support me, like, subscribe, comment, share. Don't gatekeep what I'm saying. You know, if you like this content, share it. Comment, get my videos out into the algorithm so my channel can grow. Yes, there's enough gossip channels out there to listen to or whatever, but sometimes I feel like people need to listen to some positiveness, some realness. You know, I'm kind of sick and tired of hearing about the diddler. I'm kind of sick and tired of hearing about this and that. I know it's a shock to a lot of people that a lot of this stuff is happening with the diddler and all these other famous people and entertainers and politicians. I know that Cat Williams, which I appreciate him and others like him, that's waking up the public, but a lot of people have been knowing that this stuff was going to happen. Hey, baby, we live in the age of Aquarius, okay? We already know what we know. You know, it's just waking up more people and trying to get them in the know. You know, so I'm excited. Some people are scared. Honestly, I'm excited about this year. I'm excited about 2025. Some people are looking at it as the end days, like the Bible want to tell you, because the Bible, the church religion is nothing but spreading fear, which is very, very low vibrational. And spirituality, we spreading love and hope that, hey, things may not be easy right now, but baby, we about to get better in this life. We about to head on into the golden years, golden ages. Hey, it may not, all of us now may not see it all totally pan out, but it's the start of it. And only thing I can say is prepare, like you always gotta do, prepare for hard times, be your own president of your own home, make smart moves, because nobody out here ain't gonna save you. They never have, they never will, as far as the president, as far as these big politicians. Be in your community, volunteer at your shelters, volunteer at the animal shelters, volunteer at the domestic violence shelters, help feed the hungry, do more, because I can guarantee you a few people out here that's not going to church, that's not into religion, if those few people can do more in their community than a lot of these other churches that be out here, So that's what it's all about, really. Being your own person, being your president of your life, being accountable, being responsible, not waiting for the government, not waiting for anybody, making moves, pivoting, because life is not a straight line. It's curves going up and down, left and right, it's all about the journey. So stay encouraged, keep your spirits high, keep your vibration high, your frequency high, love yourself, love others, and I will see you later. Bye.